Evan Daniels joins us. You see him on our coverage of college basketball here on Fox and Fox Sports 1, of course. He's been a recruiting guru for years. You're the perfect guy to ask on really the eve. I know technically the tournament started yesterday, and I've done first four. I don't want to diminish because I think it's a really interesting game with Arizona State and St. John's tonight. And then last night we saw the last game of Fran Dunphy, the head coach at Temple, so respected in Philadelphia as they lost to Belmont. But you covered Zion in high school.
Right.
First time you saw Zion Williamson was where?
He was a sophomore. It was in a gym in Sewanee, Georgia. Would have never thought this. Like, you knew he was athletic. You knew that there was a little feel there, but would never have thought that he would turn into what he has. Like, didn't see this coming. Even when he was a senior in high school, like, he was chunky. Mm-hmm. Like, he was big. He didn't play nearly as hard as he does now. And there was things that I didn't think he had. I didn't know he could pass the way he can. I mean, I knew he was good. I knew he was a freak athlete.
So, you're bearing the lead a little bit. Sewanee, Georgia. He's playing with, do you remember the name of the team he was playing with?
Game Elite.
Game Elite. Who are they playing?
I don't remember.
Okay, if you had that would be great.
I remember what court it was on. It was like the far court in the Sewanee complex. There was eight courts, so it would have been like the back court. So it would have been court 8.
Sewanee, Georgia in summer AAU hoops sounds crazy hot. Sounds crazy hot.
No cell service.
No cell service. Oh, man.
But a great facility.
Okay, good facility. You walk in, and this, had anybody told you about him, or this just like...
No, I think maybe a colleague had said you should probably check him out.
Yeah.
But I didn't know much about him.
He's going to be a sophomore or going to be a junior?
He was going to be a sophomore.
Okay. And how big was he then?
He was probably 6'3", 6'4".
And how 300
not
pounds?
Nearly as thick as he is now.
Okay. And then you see him the next couple summers, and... before his senior year, now he had become like a YouTube sensation.
Right.
But he never played with the big AAU programs, correct?
Correct.
He always played with Game Elite?
No, before that he was with SC Hornets, and that's where the whole Ja Morant, Zion thing kind of came from. They didn't really play together that much. I think that's kind of a little overrated in terms of them being teammates. They were both really young.
Still, maybe the top 2 picks in the NBA draft.
Right. So cool.
Huh?
So cool.
On the other hand, neither of them go. Like, this is the problem with South Carolina hoops, and this is very far afield. But people forget, like, Kevin Garnett went to high school in South Carolina until he grew up there until his senior year. He went in Chicago. Ray Allen's senior year, he was in South Carolina.
Right.
Like, just keeping those kids home.
Felton.
Okay, huh?
Felton.
Yeah, Raymond Felton, of course, football, basketball guy, played in North Carolina. But it is fascinating. It feels like maybe the missing story is he's been great for Duke. But Duke's really been good for him.
Oh, it's been tremendous for him. I mean, I think coming into the year, he wasn't thought of as a number 1 pick. He was much more thought of as a top 5 pick. I think Duke's helped him tremendously, not only from his game standpoint, but his brand standpoint. Like, everybody knew him as this dunker, YouTube sensation, Instagram dunker type thing. I don't think people realize like the feel, the passing, the rebounding, and I think all that has helped him. And I think his game has improved. He's gotten in shape.
Yep,
he's a different player.
I agree. He also has this incredible likability factor.
He does,
right?
Yeah.
Did he always have that?
I mean, to a degree. Like, he always he looked happy on the court and stuff like that. And I mean, he's just exciting to watch because of the highlight reel. Like, you're kind of waiting for what does he do next.
What's interesting is his teammate is R.J. Barrett, who most people, and you tell me if I'm wrong, I thought he would be the number 1 pick coming into the season. And he's had some games in which he hasn't shot the ball well, and he can get a little selfish. But I do think getting buried in this is he's always been a huge big game player. Like, he's always he has this incredible raising the old competitive greatness thing to him. Is that accurate?
No, it's very accurate. RJ, that's who I had number 1 coming in. I thought he was the favorite to be the number 1 pick. He won a gold medal with the U19 team. He's always been ultra competitive, a guy that could really score. He was the guy heading in, I thought.
Do you have Duke winning it all?
Yes.
Who do you have them beating?
Kentucky. Yeah. I think season ends how it starts.
Yeah, I have Kentucky beating Duke. So I have, and my logic is they have 2 guys, Tyler Hero and Keldon Johnson. I think can shoot the ball better. I think they have, and I think they actually have interior scoring outside of just Zion, and you have a little bit more age there as well, whereas Duke is really 3.5 guys on offense, and that's really about it. Evan Daniels joining us here in the Herd. Working rumor, and this is the way in basketball it works, is nobody wants to talk publicly about jobs, but everyone texts everybody else about, like, ooh, guess what I heard? the working rumor is there's some huge offer waiting for John Calipari, that you can only be at Kentucky and do the one and done, the lottery stuff and the big lunacy and stuff so long. There's this huge offer that Casey Wasserman and somebody else going to throw massive money at John Calipari to come to UCLA. Is that what you've heard?
Yes. Yeah. I actually had an industry source tell me earlier today that he thinks that they're waiting to make a big play for him.
For a guy who makes $9 million and change per year, and UCLA has never paid any basketball coaches, right? Like they did not want to pay Steve Alford $2 million.
Right.
This guy makes $9.5 million. You have to go above and beyond that. Like what is, like, I've heard huge cash money, over $10 million up front.
Yeah, it's got to be over $10 million. It's got to be over $10 million. It's got to be, he hasn't stepped on a commercial plane since he's lived in Lexington, so he's going to have to charter everywhere, not only the team but recruiting. And UCLA doesn't do that.
Yes,
I don't know if Steve Alford ever recruited with a private plane. Calipari probably
Casey
hasn't.
Wasserman has a plane, so it's clear he could use that plane if
right.
he wanted to have if they wanted to have a plane. Do you think he takes it?
I think it's the only job he would take outside of Kentucky. But that doesn't mean I think he'd take it. I don't think he would take it. I think he'd consider it.
The other one that I have heard is, there's the Bill Self to the Bulls thing, which has become public as well. But the idea that the Lakers, now that they've struck out with Doc, would reach out to a college coach. And the obvious ones would be Coach K's Coach LeBron. He has the respect of the room. Or Tom Izzo, of course, the relationship with Magic Johnson. What's it like? Izzo was close to taking the Cavs deal, but he didn't know about LeBron. Would those guys leave to take the Lakers job?
I don't think Coach K would. I think he's going to retire at Duke. I would probably say the same thing for Izzo. I don't see it happening.
Yeah, it'd be kind of fascinating.
It'd be weird seeing either of those guys on an NBA sideline.
It would and it wouldn't. It'd be a lot like LeBron, right? Like, you've accomplished everything. Like, hey, let's one last go together and come out to LA. The weather's great. You got great players. See how it works in the NBA. If it doesn't, people thought it wasn't going to work anyway. There's kind of a no lose, and by the way, you'd pocket $20 million
right.
or so over 4 years. So it's not crazy.
Well, like what college coach has gone to the NBA? Brad Stevens has done it. He's gone from college to NBA, had a lot of success.
Billy Donovan,
Donovan,
not as much. Larry Brown, but he was a pro coach, then a college coach, then a pro coach. He's the only one to win both titles. But but college coaches will tell you, hey, you don't get a good job. Like, it's all completely different if you have LeBron and Anthony Davis than if you're going to your Lon Kruger and the Atlanta Hawks.
Right. I think one thing that would be appealing to a college guy is I think a lot of them are kind of getting over recruiting.
Yes.
I mean, it's just draining. They're playing a game on Monday, and Tuesday morning they're on a plane to go recruit, and got to come back Thursday to coach a game.
Well, not just that, but now you're losing players after 6 months to the pros, and then you got to go and do the whole thing again. And now you got wiretaps and FBI investigations. Like, look, I just really kind of want to coach basketball. Like, that's Brad Stevens. When you talk to him, he's like, look, I love my time at Butler, but this is just coaching basketball, which is what I like to do. I really like basketball. That's why I got into coaching basketball.
For sure.
It's going to be fascinating. You mentioned Ja Morant. For people who haven't seen him, we're going to see him against Marcus Howard, and they're kind of polar opposites, right?
They are.
One guy is the picture of an NBA caliber athlete. The other guy is kind of an undersized combo guard that can score. But for people who haven't seen Ja Morant, what is he?
Well, I think he's going to be the number 2 pick in the draft. But this is a guy that has the size, the length, the athletic ability. But I think everyone sees the dunks and the athleticism. But this dude is so much more than that. He's amazing off the live dribble. He can pass. His vision. I think there's sometimes, like when you watch Murray State play, like he sees stuff that his teammates don't see. And when he comes off a ball screen, he's really, really dangerous. Now, I think there's an area that he's going to have to get better at. That's shooting. Mm-hmm. But everything else is there. I mean, I think he's continued to get better. Like, I had him, I think, 13 entering the season on my big board. And the only point guard I had ahead of him was Darius Garland, and we haven't seen Garland during the season.
Yeah, Garland, Vanderbilt got hurt, had a meniscal tear, and is sat out, but he'll be a top 5, top 10 pick in the upcoming NBA draft. We're on in Vegas. Lock It In is coming up live from Vegas. I want you to look into that camera number 2 right there and tell me give me an upset pick that you just know is going to happen.
I like Belmont to win another game. I think this is a team with not only Dylan Windler, who I think is going to be a second-round pick at 6'7". He can shoot it and is a terrific rebounder. But they've got two guards that I think can really play. Kevin McClain has continued to get better. He's athletic. He's fast. And then they've got a point guard in Grayson Murphy that can really pass. And Big Moose inside. He can score it. He can pass it. I like Belmont. I also like Oregon.
You like Oregon? Look back in that camera and say, I like Oregon against Wisconsin.
I like Oregon against Wisconsin. Here's why. Kenny Wooten, I think he's an athletic rim protector, rebounder. I think he could give Ethan Happ some problems. And then Peyton Pritchard. This is a dynamic point guard. He can pass it. He can score it.
Played in the Final Four before.
Yeah, and they've won. They're on a nice streak right now.
No, I know. They were not playing. He was not playing well. They were not playing well. They've gotten healthy. They've started to play some defense, started to play together. And I think Wisconsin sometimes struggles to score, and I do think Kenny Wooten is the one guy who can defend Ethan Happ because he's such an adept shot blocker. He's Evan Daniels. Follow him on Twitter. He's great. He does an awesome job covering college hoops. Thanks so much.
Thanks for having me.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.